Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, The Blitz Life. Today I'm going to be talking about Peter Thiel and his resignation from Meta, aka Facebook. So what does this mean for Palantir? The only angle I can see for Palantir is that Peter Thiel is going to have a lot more time to focus on Palantir, to dedicate energy towards Palantir, and B, it's going to be a branding issue and a PR challenge right now. Why am I saying this? Because the rumors are, according to the New York Times and their secret source that's familiar with Peter Thiel's thinking, is that he's resigning from Meta to focus on getting President Donald Trump reelected. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, so what? The issue is, don't forget, the media loves to stir the pot. The media loves to create sensation and get clicks because that's how they get paid. So what they're continuously repeating is now it's based on a rumor, and it's already snowballed into something else. And I've seen 4 different publications suggesting that Peter Thiel is resigning to go work for President Donald Trump to get him elected. And I think they're saying this because Peter Thiel has a conservative leaning. He does support the Republican Party. He has donated to President Trump's campaign in the past to get him elected. So this is, maybe an educated guess, but it's not proven. Peter Thiel has not come out and said why he's leaving the Facebook board or Meta's board. And all I can say is everybody needs to pause. Everybody needs to pause, wait for what Peter Thiel has to say. Or B, just consider the possibilities. It's possible that Peter Thiel really wasn't down with where Meta is heading towards, the metaverse, this virtual universe, and pivoting away from Facebook. And, Peter Thiel was one of the earliest investors in Mark Zuckerberg. He loaned Facebook $500,000 when they were still a small startup. So Peter Thiel has been with Meta for the longest time, or with Facebook for the longest time, and now maybe it's just time that he realizes, okay, well, the business is heading in a different direction. I'm not an expert. I can't consult or give advice as a board member, and it's time for me to step down. But instead, we're hearing all kinds of rumors, and the issue and the link back to Palantir is that the left-leaning media is relentless with sensational headlines. And in the past, all of the articles about Palantir that said, Palantir is a CIA-funded firm, it's doing evil things, Palantir, a dark company, Palantir, Israeli-affiliated spy company, Palantir stealing your NHS data, Palantir has access to your data, Palantir is doing this, that, and the other. All of these over-sensational articles were written by left-leaning media, and they never really focused on all the good that Palantir was doing, which was working with the World Food Program, working with the NHS in the UK, working with the HHS, working with all these health departments and departments that are focused on solving cancer, controlling COVID. They didn't mention any of these things, and they never would mention any of these things because it goes against their agenda. I personally don't have an agenda, and I like to think like Palantir. My real goal is that we succeed. Everyone has the best life possible, and Palantir is also that very, very much the same way. Yes, Peter Thiel has a conservative background, but then Alex Karp also has a left-leaning background, or a socialist background, as he says, or a progressive background, as he says. And these two meet in the middle because their common goal is for America to succeed and for Americans to have a better life.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
So, we need to remember that Palantir is not affiliated to any political party. Palantir is really focused on America and America only. And it wouldn't change. They wouldn't deviate. Whether it's a Republican that's coming in or if it's a Democrat that's coming in. So the fact that Peter Thiel may retire and may leave the board to focus on getting Donald Trump elected, it's fine. But what I really see as a PR challenge here is the news articles that are repeating time and time again: Peter Thiel, co-founder of Palantir, Donald Trump, election. Election, Donald Trump, Peter Thiel, Palantir, Palantir, Peter Thiel, Donald Trump, election, Palantir, election, Donald Trump, Peter Thiel, Palantir, Donald Trump, stop. Like that's what I'm afraid of, that if you say things enough times, it becomes true. That's what I'm afraid of. And, even in my professional background, when I was coming up, we would say it's so important to be independent in fact and independent in appearance. And the reason why we say that is because we don't want people to misconstrue our professionalism or independence, because even if it's questioned in appearance and people question it enough, then your independence is gone. You need to be independent in fact and in appearance. And the fact that Palantir is being continuously pulled into these articles to say Palantir, Donald Trump, Peter Thiel, election, that's a concern that I have, because if it's regurgitated enough times, it's going to impact investors, it's going to impact employees, it's going to impact the public perception of Palantir. And that's the biggest challenge that Palantir has right now. So I'm not going to speculate too much. If I had to make an educated guess, I'm just going to say Peter Thiel has a lot more time on his hands to pursue his personal interests. He's going to have a lot more time to look at Palantir, which is a plus, and he might pursue something else. He might be getting involved in other companies and in other boards. So, we don't know. We don't know. And I'm not going to count on this BS source, someone that's familiar with Peter Thiel's thinking, according to the New York Times, to make me feel some type of way. I'm educated enough to be critical and to say, okay, scrap that. What we know is he resigned. Why did he resign? What is he going to do? We'll find out. So with that all being said, I just want to say this goes back to branding. And branding is important. If you watched my top five bullish arguments for Palantir, I mentioned that in the 7 moats section, branding is one key factor. And branding is, recognition. People gravitate towards good branding because the information is already there. Nothing needs to be explained. And for Palantir, branding was an issue. Branding was an issue. And the fact that people follow one another, people tend to be sheep, admit it or not, either you like it or not. People like to follow what the herd is doing, what the group is doing. So if people in a circle start to believe that, Palantir is a right-wing company and it's focused on getting Donald Trump reelected, then people from the left, unfortunately, and I'm not saying all of them, maybe some, would just automatically discount Palantir and say, Palantir, it's all about Donald Trump. They only care about Donald Trump. They're trying to get Donald Trump elected, which is not true. Palantir is just focusing on America and making America the safest nation in the world, and a nation that, continues to have its democracy. And apart from that, Palantir doesn't have any political allegiance, because the CEO leans one way and the co-founder leans another way. They, both the co-founders lean different ways, but they meet in the middle for one common goal. So I'm not going to keep rambling on. I could keep talking about this for days, but all these articles that I'm reading about, like, it goes one year and out the other. Okay, great, Peter Thiel resigned. Let's see what happens next. If you like what you're hearing, if you like the content I'm putting out, I'm not trying to put out any content that gets you to click and, I talk to you about something that really doesn't matter for the company. I'm trying to talk to you about things that really could make a difference for your decision making ability. So if you like what you're hearing, definitely hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.